Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Excellent Way. I am Brandon Garcia, aka Coach B, and today's podcast is a very special one. And I know I say that often, but this one really is because today's podcast, although longer than normal, it's because there are 5 people on this interview. And this particular interview is with our 5 scholarship recipients. So those of you that don't know, here at CrossFit ELM, for every 10 full paying members we have, we offer one year scholarship. And we have a whole process that everybody goes through to receive that scholarship. And at the end of the year, we sit down with each of those recipients and we talk about how did the year go? What were your roadblocks? What were your wins? What made you even want to do this in the first place? And we always end up with people who aren't really gym people, let alone being in a CrossFit gym specifically. I mean, CrossFit kind of has a reputation of being scary, and we've talked about that on a couple of our podcast episodes. But this one in particular, we get to sit down with people who never in a million years thought that they'd be in a CrossFit gym. Not only that they'd be in one, but a year later, not only would they still be in that CrossFit gym, but they would consider themselves CrossFitters and plan on continuing as CrossFitters because of the impact it's made in their life, not just in their fitness and their health, not just in their nutrition, but in their lives in general. It has helped mold them into more confident, capable people, and really just release that confidence that already resided inside of them. And so we get a chance to sit down with our 5 recipients from our 2020 scholarship program, and the conversations we have are just have a box of tissues ready. If you're a crier, you're probably going to shed some tears. Some amazing things happened this year in spite of COVID shutdowns, in spite of other health restrictions and all the roadblocks that come up through the year normally. And then you add in the pandemic, was just made it even more challenging. And these 5 women, and this year we had all women. Actually, the past 2 years we've had all women. These 5 women persevered through that regardless. And it's a pretty awesome conversation to listen to and what they experienced through this scholarship program. The other cool part about today is today we get to announce the opening of the application for the 2021 CrossFit ELM Scholarship Program. Today, this podcast will release on December 29th. The scholarship will open on December 30th, 2020, and it will be open until, I believe, January 8th or 9th. So it's only open for a few days. So if that's something you want to do, you're interested in maybe taking on a year of CrossFit and doing that on a scholarship basis with us, we'd love to have you guys apply. Every year we get the opportunity to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. And so this will be another chance for us to do that for you. So if you want to jump in on a scholarship application, now is the time to do it. In fact, not now, tomorrow, you'll be able to jump on our Instagram or our Facebook page and click the link and fill out your application. And we go through all of the applications and invite a select group out of the applications to interviews. And then we decide our scholarship recipients from applications and interviews. So if that's something you want to do, be on the lookout for that. Outside of that, I'd like to introduce you guys to Yazzie, Deanna, Mary Lou, Kat, and Christina, our 2020 scholarship recipients, and talk about how the year went for them.
So let's start with just introducing yourself. Just give us your name, age, because there's a really large age difference, like 40 plus years between our oldest and our youngest, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So name and age just to start with so that people can kind of start identifying with each of you. So Christina.
I'm Christina. I am 40 years old.
I'm Kat, and I'm 57, I think.
You're like,
I'm pretty sure 57.
And I'm Mary Lou, and I'm 67.
today.
Today. Happy birthday.
And I'm Deanna, and I am 50.
I'm Yazzie. I'm 21. I think my body's probably 60 though, so I'm in the group still.
Awesome. So think back pretty much exactly a year ago, and you guys, either someone told you about the scholarship or you saw it on the internet or whatever that case may be. What kind of prompted you, and you guys can go in any order, what prompted you and what was going on in your life that was like, okay, maybe I need to take this shot and at least fill this thing out? Don't talk.
They all turn
I got it. I'm a broke college kid. I'm a full-time student. I still work two part-time jobs. And I had actually already been attending the gym, and I know that was like something that I was always struggling with. And so I really wanted to find my commitment. I really found like my passion in CrossFit, and it was something that I didn't really take as seriously. So I figured if I had that extra push and had like the financial help and then just like the support of everybody, then why not?
Yeah. There you go.
So then I told her to apply. So then she told me to apply. So then I applied because I had lost my son in September of that year. And I was at 299 pounds. And obviously not happy with myself, had no direction, was a CNA for 22 years, no job, no life, no idea what I was going to do, where I was going to go, obese, nothing, no life, don't know where I was going to go with my life. Going to be 50, and through that journey, can I keep going? Basic.
No, stop there.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, we're just talking about what was going on that made you apply.
Okay.
Like that was kind of the gist of that. So.
Well, in January this year, I had just retired, and I had done ER nursing for most of my career, but the 2 years prior, I was in like a desk job, and so I kind of got lazy, and so my sister Laura says, "Hey, why don't you apply for this scholarship?" And I'm like, "Okay," but I never win anything. So I did, and having just retired after working full time for 40 years, pretty much, I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know what? Kind of like you, what? And I have no life. Says, what am I gonna do? And so you're going through your head. So this has been CrossFit's been one of the consistencies in my life throughout the year, and it's really helped me get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Literally, 4 o'clock in the morning.
You're welcome.
A year ago, my daughter TJ encouraged me to apply for the scholarship. I'll be the first one to cry.
That's why we have a box of tissues.
Thank you.
Oh, you knew it was.
We had a rough couple years, and I just didn't care about life anymore. I was going through the motions, doing what I needed to do, but I didn't really care about me. And she encouraged me to apply, and I'm like, why? Why? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to. And she pushed me, and I did, and I'm glad I did. So that's where it was.
For me, I think my wake-up call was a divorce, becoming a single mom to a very active little boy, and then also losing my dad. My dad was 60 when he died, and I don't want Caleb to have to experience that himself, of losing a parent at such a young age.
Yeah. That's a hard place.
All right.
Good. Good stuff. I hope everybody has their tissue first.
Let's make sure we're speaking.
Yeah.
So what were, I should have printed these out. Can you guys remember what some of your goals were heading into this? And it's really funny because our goals may have changed around like March, April.
It's weird how that happened.
It's really weird how that happened because a lot of things that were on our goal list kind of got the kibosh, right? But what were some of your goals?
I know mine, and I didn't get to do it. Skydive for my 40th birthday was one of my biggest goals. And then I believe running, which I've done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good job.
It's not, it's not a mile, but it's something that I haven't done in 12 years.
There you go.
Good job.
Awesome. Running. It's the best.
So I believe my goals was to just care about life again, to care about the daily activities, to care about me, and to hopefully help my daughter get back on her feet and get going in her life. Give her the encouragement or the tools just to help her out. But for this was about me.
Yeah.
Well, one of my goals was to get strong.
Yeah.
I never worried much about the weight, because if you look at my weight, it's kind of high, according to whoever.
The charts.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
charts.
Charts.
But mostly it was to get strong, and again, to see, my granddaughter is 15, and I really wanted to kind of be there when she graduates and when she gets married and when she has babies. Because I lost my parents at a young age, so I didn't want them to go through that, or my kids. But my kids have passed that stage. They all have their babies. They all have their partners. And so I think becoming stronger and getting more healthy, especially what I eat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's one that, when you think about going to the gym, you don't necessarily think about your nutrition side by side with that. Like you're just like, well, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm just gonna work out, and you don't think about, well, I gotta watch what I gotta pay attention to what I'm eating as well. So it's
To be able to walk past that bakery section. Say,
Yeah.
that's a tough walk.
And then when you have it, it's the walk of shame.
I think my biggest goal was to do a walk for my son, and that obviously we couldn't do. But before I injured myself, I was walking 1.5 miles a day.
Nice.
Consistently.
Nice.
That's good.
I feel like I walked into this like aimlessly, not knowing what I was doing. When everybody first started their scholarships, I was actually out of the country, so I had missed a good portion of it. And so, like, my initial goal was honestly to keep my mom going, because I really didn't. This is mean, but I didn't think she was gonna finish it. Like, I was like, she's not doing it. She could hate every second of it. She's not doing it. So that was my initial goal, was like push her to do it, and then in turn it kind of pushed me, because when I got back, I was mad that she was like, look at me go. And I was like, well, I want to go. I want to do it. So that was like my initial goal, was to keep her going. And then actually I found out, like, hey, you're going to keep going too. So
That's cool.
Awesome. That's fun.
Yeah, that's really fun. Okay. Oh,
Now we're starting
those
into the deep
first
stuff.
days. What was your biggest fears?
my fear was my mom was going to disappoint me and make me look bad because she wasn't going to do it. Just kidding. Actually, no. But my fears were lifting heavy things, like, and running. I was never a runner. I was, like, athletic when I was younger, but I never lifted anything in my life. So when I first started, I was so scared to touch a barbell. Like, Brandon made me drop a bar because I was like, it's a child. You have to be nice to it. And now I just throw things around. Like,
There's something empowering about dropping a heavy barbell.
Yeah.
There really is.
I think
It
those
is.
are one of my favorites is when someone comes in and they're like, no, I can't. And then they have a day where life has gotten to them and they throw that thing
I
down
think
and
that's
you can
me.
just feel everything come off of you and you're like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
That's what it was. I mean, even like, I think probably even 2 months ago, just to think back to our first week and how we even lifted how Marco was like about the 15-pound bars, and we were like so fragile. I'm like, do not drop this bar because of the bearings in it. And we were also scared to even pick those up, or, you know, because we were going to break those bearings and everything like that. And now to see us, like you say, throwing the bars down with the weights. And it's like, or, yeah, that's just like to see us that far.
That's cool.
And to be now looking at how that first class is going to be next year is what's going to be amazing to see that.
Yeah. So what were some of your fears?
I don't know, everything. Like, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into at all. I didn't know, like, I mean, I was always good at cardio or something like that. That was something I could do, and I could lift because of my son. I was okay with trying to lift dead weight or because of his weight, but I didn't know what I got myself in. I didn't know what CrossFit was, because I mean, we have all discussed what I signed Yaz up for this.
she signed me up for a boot camp and made me come. It was through the cheer gym.
Oh, yeah.
And
A couple
they
years
did
ago,
they did the boot camp, and Mom goes, well, you're going over to this place because they're doing it. And I said, I don't know
Yes.
what.
So I never knew what really
She didn't
CrossFit
even know what I
was.
was. She didn't even know what I was doing. She just signed me up
So
for it.
even when I signed myself up to even do the scholarship, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I was just like, okay, I didn't know what I was walking myself into my first class. So
Yep.
I
You're good. Let Mary go.
everything was very.
Anyone else? Fears?
Fears.
Well, I'm too damn old to do this.
Well, yeah. There are a lot of people out there that would say that
Yeah.
same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you're too old for that.
You're
No.
too old, you can't do this, and I've been to different gyms before, but, so that was a fear coming in because I thought, you know, everybody's gonna be in shape, everybody's gonna be in, you know, little tank tops and, you know, and doing all these things, and that throughout my life is not, one of my fears is not doing it right, you know, not doing it right. And as time went on in CrossFit, I found that you guys, I can not do it right, and then there's no shaming here. There's no shaming here. And that was a big motivator for me, you know, that you guys teach and you make sure, you know, we're doing things right, and if we can't do it, then there's an alternative. And that was one of my biggest fears is
Just not being able to.
just not fitting in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think my biggest fear was just failure at anything.
Yeah.
That, could I do this at my age? I'm like, I was very much an athlete in my younger years for many years. And so not being able to do this would have been very hard on me, no matter what the movement was. There's some I know I can do, there's some I know I can't do. But just disappointing myself and just giving up. And that was probably my biggest fear is, can I do this for the year? Can I commit to this for the year and just keep going?
But I think that's a big thing for a lot of people is like, yeah, I can start, but will I give up?
Yes.
You know? And then because there's that small chance that they'll give up, a lot of people don't even start,
Yes.
you know? And
Yes.
so they're like, well, if I'm going to end up giving up, why should I even start?
I was almost afraid to get the scholarship because of that. It was like, oh my God, now what do I do?
Yeah.
I go, I do it, so.
And I think that was my fear too, is failing and letting you guys down. 'Cause
Yes.
You
took a chance on us.
took a chance on us and you believed in us to show what CrossFit truly is about. And so I think that's my strongest, or was my strongest fear, is to the fear of not succeeding and letting you guys down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that, for us, that lets us know that you were taking it seriously. Like, you know, external motivation isn't always the best thing, but sometimes it's what you need, you know? And so when you start something like this, if that's one of the motivators for you, like, hey, don't let these people down, like, that's okay. And I think that there's a part of culture right now that's we're trying to swing the pendulum the other way, because there's so many of us, and some of us are guilty of it, and some of us know people that are guilty of this, that we're just people pleasers, and we think about everybody else except for ourselves all the time.
Yep.
Right? Sometimes you can leverage that to make yourself better. And that's one of those instances. You know, like, if you can use that to make yourself better, I think that's okay.
Yeah, because I think my biggest thing is I put others first before myself, and I still struggle with that. And that was one of my goals, is putting myself first.
Yeah.
And so,
That was actually the one thing that all of you had in common. Like, when we go through this process and we sat down and interviewed all of you, every single one of you did not put themselves first. And you knew that, and you knew there was something not quite right about that. And I think that was just like the one commonality between everybody.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is always fun, because I even think I warned you guys that you're gonna hit a roadblock. Something's gonna happen, it's gonna throw your life for, you know, off the rocker, and we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with it. The very first thing that happened to every single one of us, and we all had to deal with it. So obviously this year we had that common one, but so COVID definitely changed things, so you can talk about that, or any other roadblocks to get you toward your goals, to be healthier and all that kind of stuff that you've had this year. Okay, here we go.
This is what we start getting the deep stuff.
Injuries.
And it's not injuries from the gym.
Jim, no, it is not. And that's one of the things that Brandon and I have talked about, is that my injuries.
They were all really silly things. They really were.
It's, you know, stepping off the curb wrong, and literally I actually think I fractured or did something serious to my foot, because it took forever to heal. And it was black and blue for a good month.
I was going to say, pretty close to a month.
To then coming back and running for the first time, and then pushing myself, and then something in my knee popped. I have no clue what it was. So we did an x-ray, couldn't figure out what it was, but my knee swelled. And at that time I was trying to make sure I was here, because I was getting ready for the poker run, and I didn't want to let my team down. And so I pushed through it, and even at the poker run, I pushed myself too hard. And so I ended up taking literally October and November pretty much off, because I couldn't even go down into a squat. I couldn't get down on the ground. I couldn't literally get myself back up. I mean, it was that bad. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to my body. And I'm not, you know, I tried walking, you know, for work, and, you know, doing things at work, but it really, the knee issue really popped out of nowhere and took me down.
Yeah.
That was the hardest one, I think, for my roadblocks. I mean, the ankle, it sucked.
Yeah.
It really did. But I think that was my biggest, and it wasn't CrossFit injuries. It was
life?
Me not knowing how to walk down the stairs or how to step off of a curb. I mean, come on now. I've done it twice now with the stairs. And
It happened to Joe Biden earlier this year. Or, no, just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
He tripped over his dogs, playing with his dogs. Like, it happens to. Remember, I don't remember several years ago when we had Jake Plummer as the Broncos quarterback, and he was playing with his dog and tripped over his dog and sprained his ankle and he was out for like 3 weeks. You know?
yeah, I don't think that ankle was a sprain. I think I literally probably broke it. But
Wow.
I didn't have health insurance. And he's like, it's just a sprain. I mean, I could walk
It's
on it.
fine.
But
Let's talk about some other things. So COVID happened and you lost your job.
I lost my job on top of it.
Yeah.
Went through a breakup on top of it.
Yeah. Finalized a divorce.
Finalized my divorce.
Oh my
So you've had some,
Yeah, it
some
was.
massive things this year.
Yep, it was. But I was proud because it's like I turned 40 and that week I was in Utah and I got on Zoom and worked out. Like, I'm like, nope, I'm 40. This was my goal. I'm doing this.
Good for you.
I'm in my cousin's landing of her stairs, running in place, trying
For you.
to count to 1,000 for my steps. And I started outside and it started raining, so I had to go back inside. And so, but yeah, my cousin, she's like, seeing that determination in me that, hey, you're still on vacation and you're able to do this workout, good job.
Yeah.
So,
And so, as we're sitting here, the other thing that I recall is when we first started, you were battling an autoimmune disease where if your body got hot, you broke out in hives.
I still do.
And so, it was the battle of finding a medication that would
worked.
control that.
And finding the medication that did control it, but then finding out that I was the 1.0001% of getting a rare side effect of my blood not clotting. And so I was dealing with other issues on that aspect of it too, of, not being able to clot at certain points in a month, and it just went on and on. And so, yeah, it was like, I'm just like, did I do this at the right time? But I did, because it did. It, like, coming in here Wednesday and seeing the work, and I was like, I just looked at TJ, I was like, there's no way, like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, a rope climb? Couldn't even do it in high school. What makes you think I'm gonna try it now? But, I did it. I finished that time, and I had a good time, and yes, the road machines are not made for short, fat people. I'm sorry. That's still my rule.
I agree with that.
That is still my thing.
The rower is the next.
I have a hard time with that. It's like my legs just go.
Yeah, you're like, hi, and all. This is as far as I get. So, but yeah, I think those were my, this was a hard year, not just because of COVID, but just medical, mentally, just, it was a breakdown, but I had the support. I had this family. So.
For me, struggles and roadblocks, I didn't really have anything physical. I do have some issues with my knee here and there. I think it's been more recently that my body's like, you're hurting everywhere. And so I've really tried to work on the mashing, the stretching, just trying to get it to quit hurting and still be able to come here and do what I can do. I think the biggest hurdles and roadblocks for me, again, are on a personal level, where I think I mentioned to Marka once, I feel like I'm going backwards instead of forward, because I had physical limitations and they pissed me off. And so I think the hurdles for me are just myself. If something gets too hard or I can't do it as well as I could the last time, then I have to tell myself, don't quit just because you couldn't lift the additional 10 pounds that you could the last time. Today's not your day. And so it's a constant conversation that I have with myself. Don't quit. You're not digressing or whatever. It's just that day.
Yeah.
So I think I am my biggest struggle to this day.
Well, I think I think there's a lot of people that struggle with that and don't realize that. Like, we are all our own worst critic.
Yes.
And so when we have those days where it's like, I know I can do this, but today is not that day. Like, letting ourselves off the mat for that
Yes.
is one of the hardest things.
Yep.
You know, and so like learning that lesson through something like CrossFit, once you figure that out, like, now you can apply that at work or in a relationship
Yes.
or whatever it is. Like, when you're that critical and that hard on yourself, you know, and it comes from like, I think, you know, it comes from a competitive nature that
Yes.
we don't always recognize we all have. You know, we demand so much of ourselves that in that moment, it's extremely difficult to give ourselves that grace. So I like, as we went through those roadblocks though, like, I think the thing that really that I've noticed though is that it's no matter what it is, it's that conversation of like, the roadblock ends up being like, do you believe you can actually do this, right? And then holding yourself to that standard and holding yourself to that commitment, right? And that commitment to the consistency, even when it gets hard, like that's the roadblock, you know. And it's just like, it's that testament to like, listen, I said I'm going to take care of myself, and dang it, I'm going to do that. But no matter what it is, that's where it all landed, right? You're going to make a decision to, you know, you're in Utah and it's pouring rain, I'm still going to work out, you know, like, my body doesn't feel right today. I don't care. I'm still going to do something to take care of me. And I just, like, it's that common theme that we all have, and it's like, we all look at it like it's our unique situation, because it is our unique situation. But it's, no matter what, it's that choice of, I'm either going to give into this, whatever that is, or I'm going to stay committed to this thing that I said I was going to do, that eventually is going to make me better and make this situation more tolerable, right? And so it's just like, as you guys face those roadblocks, you've been able to push through them. And it's that learning of, I can push through this, I can do this, I'm capable of that, and I'm going to come out better on the other side. So.
Let's talk a little bit, we'll let Yazzie start. What are some victories, like, that you had, like, how, a year ago versus now? Like, what are all the things that have changed and some victories you had in that time?
Well, first, take myself seriously at CrossFit now. That's not something I did when I initially started. I've been CrossFitting for 3 years. I've been here for 3 years, but this was my first year where I actually took myself seriously, set serious goals. I would say running. I ran a mile and didn't die. With my asthma, running was not a thing for me, and every time I would run, I would hear Brandon telling me, you know, it's okay, this is all right, you can breathe, it's fine. So running was a big one. Rope climbs, that was a big one. Tire flips, everybody loves the tire flips. There were a lot of victories. Another one was 75 hard. I did finish 75 hard because Brandon told me, well, you're going to start today, just do it, because I was going to talk myself out of it. And then, all in all, just the family that I've created with me being in the morning class, I have to fend for myself. I fight with the big boys. Like, having a partner with Ryan Veneer, that'll kill you. But now I do it every time, and now we're a team, and now it's stuck, and it's a thing. So just kind of like fending for myself and pushing myself, not only because I want to be better, but because I see these other people doing these amazing things, and I want to do that, and I'm just as competitive as them, even if I'm only lifting half or not even half of the weight that like some of the guys are lifting.
Like,
but I'm
so
still
competitive
doing it.
that she comes in for a second time because we beat her score.
Yeah, so Ryan and I did a partner workout, and Brandon was like, yeah, you two are just going to be partners because it's going to be fun. And I was like, excuse me, Ryan is not fun. But we did it. And I thought I was like not going to finish. I was like, Ryan's going to be so disappointed in me, and he's going to hate his time, and he's going to be mad about it. And I kid you not, 6:15 in the morning, he says, so I'll see you at 4:30. We're going to go again, right? Excuse me, no, we are not going to. He said, yeah, we have to beat our time. We're going to be sub 20. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. 2:30 rolls around, he messages me, 4:30, see you then. Sure enough, we came and we beat our time.
There you go.
So it was worth it, but I was not a happy camper when I started.
So Deanna, you touched on a few things. You're down, what did you decide? 45
down 45 pounds
since July.
since July. You haven't missed a day in 165 days.
That's impressive.
Another victory I forgot to say was on day 75, I also got hurt walking, and then came in and rode.
What did she?
A 5K.
5K.
She
Yep,
rode
she
a
rode a
5K.
5K.
That's another, and also did an Atlanta, half
Atlanta. She did
half
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Did a half Atlanta this.
I did a 1.5 at Atlanta because.
Oh yes, and
Because of Ryan.
also after doing half, also helped
Helped.
another teammate
Yep.
with his,
Oh yeah, Nate.
Yeah, we don't need out.
helped Nate do some of his squats and stuff.
Yep. That was a big day.
Yes.
The 5K row. That was a big day.
She didn't even know what she was doing.
I didn't.
She got home and she was like,
Okay.
well, I wish I would have known.
This
You know what,
is another thing
this
too, is because this is where Marco's coaching and said you're going to do a 5K, and then Brandon's like, oh, just go for this long. And so then of course she's like, all I can hear is Marco in my head, do a 5K.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, it was
Because Marco was running class that
running
day.
class, and I was like,
It's
I got
Marco's
it.
class.
It's Marco's class. I got to finish Marco's class because Marco's in charge. So I had to finish it.
I'm really not this mean, people.
No, you're not.
Wait.
I had to, finish
I don't
it.
know, there's a lot of testimonials here.
No, I really do love Marco. I do. I mean, I have really
it's a
going
scary
to,
relationship.
but and again, like as he says, our 515 class is really a family. It,
I mean, we're all, it's the thing, is we're all a family, and I know, like, I've worked out with Mary Lou at the 5:15, but I've also come in at other times when I've worked out with Kat. I mean,
We worked out,
once
yeah,
or
at the
twice.
5:15,
Like,
at the
we've done it a few
5:15, but
times.
because I have to be
Yeah.
at work so early,
Yeah, so
have to
we've
come
all,
in.
like, we've all worked out together, and we're all a family, and we still know, like, everybody in the gym, but when you find your class and you get in that groove, like, that's still a win, because everybody is just so, we're all thinking the same thing. We all don't know what we're doing, but we all know we're gonna
The goal is to be Ryan.
The goal is to be Ryan. Everybody comes in and looks at that board and say, what did Ryan do today? I'm gonna beat that.
Oh, that's real.
Wait, that is real. I
100% real.
have to say something about that with me and Ryan, because that was a killer. Because me and Brandon had teamed me and Ryan together, and I had a row, and this was a
Oh, it
terrible.
was you and Ryan and
No,
No,
it
it
was
was
just
me
her. It was
and
when
Ryan.
she was rowing and Ryan was over there, and we all thought Ryan was gonna die. And
Ryan
Mom's
was
like rowing, and she's like, "Come on, just finish
And
the
if
workout."
Ryan was it was
dying.
me and Ryan. It was it was a hard workout. But Ryan struggled on this workout. And he was the last one
Who's the last one to finish?
to finish that workout.
I don't remember what it was. Doubles and is double under.
oh, it was thrusters and doubles.
Yeah.
Double unders.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are his two least.
But
Yeah,
and I could not finish rowing until
He finished the workout.
And we
I was
were
like-
at 23 minutes.
I was like, Ryan's gonna finish this. She's not even gonna have a
Wow.
workout today.
And it was
23 minutes later, Ryan's laying.
And I'm
on
like, come on, Ryan, we got it. You got it, Ryan. I was just like supporting.
That was Wednesday's workout, because Ryan was here Wednesday with TJ's class.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had traveled, I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
this last week, and so he literally went home, changed, and came here to do the workout. And I was like, oh, Ryan's gonna be faster than everybody. And I finished my time quick, but I wasn't climbing a rope. I was like just pulling myself up.
Okay, his rope climb is like 2 poles. What are you talking about? He's like to the top. It's 1.5.
That's what I like though, and it doesn't just happen with Ryan, but he's just like the popular one in the group right now. But it happens at every class, right? Like, it doesn't matter who finishes first or last.
Everybody supports everybody, and that's what I love.
Yeah, it's super good.
Well, Mary Lou, what are some changes and victories, and what did a year ago versus now look like?
Well, my jeans are falling off. I have to wear a belt. Although there's, and just things, personally, you know, I'll be washing and I'll be like, hey, what's this?
Ooh, look, you have a muscle.
You know, that's, you know, problem is my thighs are getting bigger, but that's okay.
My
That's
thighs got
okay.
bigger, but they look a lot better. So.
Yeah, they look better. And one of my greatest victories when, I think we were just one-on-one because I was the only one that came to the class when we were doing deadlifts.
Oh, yeah.
And I was doing them, and that was a while back.
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
September.
And so I'm doing it, we're adding weight, and I'm doing it. He keeps adding weight to it. He says, you can do this, it's only one
That's
lift.
fine. Just pick it up once.
Go
It's
ahead.
fine.
go
That was
ahead."
September.
You know, and I'm,
was September.
all right,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, and I'm lifting it. And I went over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
130?
Yeah, I think you were
or
130, 135, something like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know? Or when, just the other day, I was like putting a big bowl away and it's on the top shelf, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't hard at all. You know, where it used to be hard. And I got my A1C down,
Yeah.
and last time I was checked, she said, I don't think you're pre-diabetic anymore. And so that, you know, that with the nutrition, I think in the physical workout.
Yeah.
And I just am stronger. I can kind of run up the stairs now instead of walking like a toddler. You know, but just feeling my body being stronger and just doing things that I wasn't able to do before, or that were a struggle for me to do before, like the 50-pound bag of dog food.
Yeah.
You know, picking that up, or cat food, I don't have a dog anymore. But just kind of seeing results, and that didn't happen, you know, the first, 2-3 months.
Right.
And I always remember, I want to be done, and that's just my personality. I want to get it done, and I want to do it well. But you keep saying, both of you, baby steps, and you'll get there. And I have,
Yeah.
And my journey's just begun, because probably be doing it in the nursing home.
Yeah. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Pushing off
Right.
the nursing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about yours, your big victory, or whatever, big victories this year so far?
I think my biggest victories, if we're talking physical, it's something that I hated, something that I didn't like, that I
know
didn't want to
exactly what
do.
I was just gonna say.
And I believe I ran a mile,
Yes, you did.
and I did not die.
But did you die?
I thought I was going to die, but with the encouragement of the family, of the coaches, that is tremendous.
Yeah.
I also made the 200 club and deadlifts.
Yeah.
I absolutely love deadlifts. I like the heavy lifting. That's some of my favorite stuff, is the heavy lifting. I'm very slow at a lot of stuff because I'm trying to get correct form. And so I think a lot. And I'm like, you got to do this, then you got to do this, then you got to do this. Okay, what do I got to do? So for me, making the 200 Club, because it's progress, it's baby steps, it's progress, and I can see those baby steps in almost every workout that I do. I may fail at this portion of it, but I've increased at this portion. Just recently, I was actually able to go into a handstand against the wall by standing, doing it. And I actually held that handstand, I would say, for about 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. That's incredible for me because I'm scared to death to go into that. It takes me a while to do it, but once I do the first one, I can do it. Then that confidence is there. And it's just a matter of getting the technique. So there's been, for me, a lot of little victories that I can see. The nutrition coaching, a lot of victories. Now, we have to get back on it again. We did slide for a little bit, where it was like, you just go through things that's like, I'm tired of weighing things out. I'm tired of doing this. But if you do it long enough and you get where it becomes second nature, I can see where it works. Because even though I can still do things physically, I know that I feel better when I follow the correct nutrition training and do what I have been trained to do. And just overall, I just feel better in my skin. I may not look better, but I feel better in my skin. And that's been a tremendous change for me.
I think I actually just mentioned the other day your just overall demeanor.
Her smile. The smile on that face.
I have one again?
You have a good smile. The smile.
Yeah. So I think that's just been a transformation that we've all been able to see. It's just
Yeah. It's been a journey.
half there.
Yeah. I think I actually have a few victories. The running, because it's been 12, 13 years.
And it
yet-
sucks, huh?
I actually enjoyed running.
Oh, I don't like running.
I actually used to love running. And when I broke my ankle when I was pregnant with Caleb, running was, oh, hell no, I'm not going to run. I mean, it hurts the ankle. It hurts.
Yeah,
It throbs.
yeah.
And then finding out that I had to have a second surgery. But to get back, and yeah, it's a short distance. It's from here to the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
But I still did it.
Yes.
I still did it.
Yes.
And it's that joy of, hey, I ran. And, the deadlifts. And Marca, it was in September. And it was right before I started work. It was the 15th, because I started the 17th for work. So it was September 15th. And I came to the 12:30 class. And I was pushing, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And I think I was at 165, and he pushed me to 175. And I was like,
Oh yeah, she kept saying, I'm done. Oh no, you're not done.
no, you're not done. I'm like, he's like, no, you can keep going. And so Marca did. She pushed me. And then TJ is a big pusher. It's, Wednesday's work, or last week, and I'm second guessing myself, can I add more weight? And that's my biggest issue, was second guessing myself of, can I push myself further? And, so those just tiny little victories, doing the poker run and not breaking out in hives.
Yeah.
That's a big victory in itself. Not having to take Benadryl every morning. And so, but yeah, it was finishing, and one of the things I noticed too, doing the poker run, is I see how supportive Mark and Brandon are, and how they push us. But the very last gym, I don't remember the name of the last one.
Oh, at the poker run?
Surge. The coaches there were very supportive, and saying, you got this, you can do it, and we're also cheering us on. It wasn't just our teammates, it was the coaches at other CrossFits too that were very supportive, which I thought was great. So those were, I think, the deadlifts, and I still hate burpees. Especially now.
Really actually like
Especially
burpees
now
besides-
doing our burpee, but I still do my modified burpees. I haven't quite got all the way down to do a burpee, but that is a goal now, that's my next goal is I'm gonna do that burpee. I'm gonna do a real burpee. Maybe not right now, but I'm gonna do it.
To the other ladies' stories and the comments on, yeah, you can do this weight, you can do this weight, and add a little bit more weight. There's also the other side of that there's times that personally I may have said, like, tried to go up in weight thinking I can do this, and to me it's awesome that you guys go,
No. Yeah.
okay, hang on. Let's stay with this because we have 80 of them to do. And so that has educated me as well. It's like, it's not only just me trying to push myself. You guys are great at pushing, going, I think you could go a little more, or I think you could do this, but you're also great at saying, let's do this, let's work on this, and stepping it back a little bit instead of possibly risking injury or failure or, whatever it is. So I have to give you guys kudos for that too, because you're great at encouraging and pushing, but you're also great at knowing when I shouldn't take that extra step or take that extra 20 pounds, and it's
No.
good.
And they were great at modifying.
Oh, the
workouts.
modifications
The
are amazing.
modification is like, so going with somebody to answer your question is, when I talk to people.
Let me
introduce the question.
reintroduce the question, because I think Brandon was
Oh.
resetting some stuff.
Yeah, we reset
Okay.
the camera,
Okay.
so.
Okay, just so he.
Huh?
Okay, so the question is, there's gonna be someone sitting at home listening to this, or maybe someone said, hey, apply for this scholarship, and they're sitting there like, okay, I connect with one of these 5 people's stories. So what would your advice be to that person that's kind of like scared out of the mind to meet me now?
They're gonna go, is Mark gonna be in the interview?
And what is your biggest advice to that person?
For me, I think we're all different. We all have our different ways and our journey and what we can do. And being, it's CrossFit, and, and this is something Brendan and I talked about, is how CrossFit has this stereotypic type of workout. And to be honest, I was one of those, like, wow, CrossFit, really? And then coming in here and seeing and working out from different gyms, that you're not alone. Like, we are all here on a different journey and a different part of our CrossFit journey. And so I really think that it doesn't hurt to try something new. It doesn't hurt to reach out to others for support. Like my Facebook, my family, my friends, like in the beginning I was posting, okay, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and I was doing my countdowns, and the support and the encouragement I got from family and friends from afar. And then the support here and the cheering, you can do it, from somebody who finished, 5 minutes, and you're still trying to get those last 10 wall balls,
That take a minute each.
to do. Take a breath in. But, and your classmates cheering you on. And CrossFit, I think, is a family. It's not one person. It's not a team. It's everybody. And that's what I come from this, is that this is a new family to me. I'm not, just because my scholarship's up, and I'm not stopping. COVID threw a big wrench in all of us, and, seeing your goals and where you come from is amazing. Because I remember that first day with, of you and I working out, and So it's reassuring that we all can do it. It's not just one person, it's everybody, and it's doing it as a team.
I agree. I think my words of advice would be believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That no matter what it looks like, no matter what CrossFit looks like, no matter, it's not just a physical workout. It is a life experience, is what I would say. And you have to believe in yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and all of us can be, I think, a testament to that. And that's the advice that I would offer is believe in yourself, and this family, it is a family, can help you through that and continue to grow. And it doesn't have to end, but you know, just believe in yourself.
Well, I think that one of my biggest words of advice is that you're not too young or you're not too old to start this, you know, and I think that was I think people have a time in their lives when they become themselves, but your body keeps aging and aging and aging.
Yeah.
You're still 30, you know, in your spirit, and but mine was I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be diabetic. I don't want to be in a nursing home ever. And I want to be around because I lost my mother before I graduated, before my wedding, before anything. And I don't want my kids or my grandkids to go through that. And the modification that comes with this gym, you know, because I'll look at a work a day and I'll be, I can't do this shit. I can't do this, you know?
That's why I don't look at the workouts. I just sign up. And that
I
holds
think
me
that's my
accountable.
biggest struggle is I look.
I don't look.
But then I'll come and, you know, I'll come in and there's modifications as far as my physical abilities.
Well, like we
And-
talked about with Kat earlier, it was like some days you come in and like, you can hammer it. Some days you come in and you get 10 minutes into the warm up and you're like, I don't know about
I
this
can't
day.
do this.
Yeah.
What
And
can
so
I
you do what you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always what can I do instead. And now when I look at it, and they can figure something out for me. And I do it, and it's the end of the class, and we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. We did it today, and that we did it. I did it today, and that feeling of accomplishment, I guess. But you're never too old. You're never too, I don't know, handicapped. I don't know if I want to say that, but you never, you don't have these physical handicaps that you don't, that you can't do it. And
I think that's a good way to put it because there are people out there that's the way they think, you know, like I can't do it because I have this limitation or that limitation or whatever it is, you know, and so they tell themselves that, and so then they believe it, and then they never give themselves the opportunity to step outside that, you know, and so that's a major point for a lot of people that are stuck. You know, you get stuck.
yeah,
And
this is never, I'm not gonna.
yeah,
I'm never gonna walk out, run up the stairs again. I'm never gonna. Well, running is one of my goals, or at least jogging,
right.
or at least walking, and jump roping. I can't figure that one out yet.
Yeah, you're not alone.
But, yeah, it's just, that's the biggest thing about it. And we, I just have to say we are family. And that was good because in my career, we had this, when I first started and worked for 20 years with the same people, we had this family and we still are family. But it kind of lost that, when I went to a different place and lost that sense of family. And this is kind of the first time since then that I know this is a family. I know, and dare I say, I think we love each other, and we encourage.
When you go through this much mutual suffering.
Yes. Suffering brings closeness to people.
I like that mutual suffering. Because I'm pretty sure we make you guys suffer too.
Yeah, I'm
mutual.
freezing still.
I'm single, so I'm a little cold.
Yeah,
It's fine.
but the main thing is that what you think you can't do, you can do.
You just gotta give yourself a chance.
Yes.
You really just have to give yourself a chance.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
What about you?
CrossFit is life.
And cut.
It is. I don't know. That's it. Drop mic. I don't know.
She just said drop the mic.
Drop mic. That's it. That's my life. I mean, would I have said that a year ago? No. I love it. CrossFit is where I am. I mean, I have to say now, I have to sit back now and ask my daughter, were you embarrassed of me?
She has asked me that. She has asked me. She said,
Or that you were saying,
No, no,
shaking
no,
your
no.
head, yes, I do.
No, I haven't.
She would sit there and she said, a year ago when you would go to the airport, were you embarrassed of me because you'd walk around with me?
And
Or,
I'd be like walking so slow or
Just
have to be in a wheelchair because I couldn't make it to the gate or something, and so.
No, but now there's times we're walking through the airport
And
and I'm
she's
like,
like,
listen, Linda, slow down.
Slow
I
down.
got suitcases here.
Because I walk so fast, or I try to hurry, or I'm just trying to get to some place A to place B, and I'm like, and it's funny there's little things, it's hurrying, and people cut me off to get into McDonald's. I'm like, I used to be that person, and I'm not. I'm like, why are you guys hurrying to go somewhere? There's so many things. I just feel like it's not just CrossFit. It's even like going to the CrossFit RX or Faith RX and stuff. There's so many things that are accompanied with CrossFit and scholarships that you guys offer with joining us. And it is the family. It is the confidence you get. And it's like one day I was like, am I a athlete now? Or where do I go? What am I? I feel confident in myself. Or I stand up and I feel like I have grown an inch or two because I stand up or sit at my desk and I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
You do. You carry when you start figuring out that you're actually capable of things that you didn't think you were. Like you do. You sit up a little bit taller. You carry yourself a little bit differently, and then in those little moments where it's like the hard stuff hits in your head, like you have that part of you that panics, but in the back of your head you go, "No, I can do this. I can deal with this." I survived that workout the other day. I can survive this.
Yeah.
And it's you're right, that's a big piece of this. Like it looks like working out, but it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's those moments of doubt that turn into moments of triumph.
Yep.
And it only happens in a setting where you're surrounded by people who are agreed in this like belief in self and one another, and that it's going to be hard work, but it's going to be worth it.
Well, that's one thing. I wish my son could see what I accomplished. How he'd see
He
me
can.
now. How he'd
He
see
can.
me now. And how much I'd be so happy of how fast I could push over. How
Yeah.
He can. He knows.
Now you're the young one.
Okay,
What's your
actually,
biggest piece of advice? Somebody's sitting there going, should I not, should I not?
so I'm gonna take you through this little rant of mine. This is a format that I've learned from my coach. So, but this is like an all-around thing. Okay, so I can officially say I'm a CrossFit athlete. Like, I know in my heart I may not be doing RX workouts, but I'm a CrossFit athlete. I'm a CNA. I work at Children's Hospital. I do pageants and modeling. All of the things. I do all of it. And so why is this important to me, Brandon? This is important to me because this came to me at a time in my life where it mattered the most. I am the youngest person, not only in our scholarship group, but also in our gym. I'm the youngest member of our gym right now. And I'm figuring myself out. I'm going to school. I know what I want to do with my life, but on the day-to-day, how do I know what I'm doing? So this scholarship has taught me so much about myself, both in my physical abilities, but my mental abilities. I've learned a lot, and it's not just in the gym. It's transferred to other things in my life. I've learned that I can do more at work. I can do more in my pageantry. I've learned how to balance things better and not be so exhausted. And then also, I lost almost 20 pounds that I didn't know I had to lose, first of all. So that's a huge thing. Like, you would look at me and you say, well, why do you need to be athletic? Why do you need to be fit? Because I feel great.
Yes.
Okay? So then why is this important to you and Marco? Why is this important to the gym?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, why is this important to the gym? This is because this is what you guys do. This is where you guys are experts. This is where you have the opportunity to teach us as individuals and as a community. I haven't been to any other CrossFit gyms, but this is the only gym I'm going to. I'm not going anywhere else. Well, I went to Faith RX, but that's different. Like, I hadn't started somewhere in CrossFit. Like, this is my CrossFit home. And this is important to you guys because you are making a difference for people in and out of the gym, whether you realize it or not. Like, you guys are, without a doubt, like, my best friends. You are my mentors. I look up to you. Like, this is it.
You make her cry now.
Sorry, I think I'm a bird. And then we learn how do we wrap these two things together? Why do you care that it's important to me? Why do you care that it's important to them? It's because you need to do it. You need to do it for yourself. You need to do it for somebody else. You have to do it. You can't not CrossFit, okay, people? And it sounds like I wasn't even talking about CrossFit. That's
Just do it.
Because you would think that I had a life coach teaching me these things. You would think that, like, I had this big miraculous breakthrough of self-empowerment. No, I learned these things here. It's something that I learned here that goes everywhere with me, and I'm thankful that this happened at this point in my life because I know I'm going to be my best self in a month from now, in 5 years from now. These are skills that I'm going to carry with me no matter what. So even though I'm young and I may not need to be fit and work out, it's not just about that. I've learned a million other things that are so important to me.
That's a mic drop moment.
Sorry, that was a little tangent. That was
No,
a little
no,
rant
that-
there.
That's the point of that question, right?
Yeah.
Because now somebody who is
Absolutely.
18, 19, 20, who doesn't think, I don't need to do that. That might be the reason they do, you know?
And I answered the question that way. Sorry to finish that tangent. I answered the question that way because Brandon taught me that. I actually just competed in a national pageant. I had to do an interview, and I wanted to know how to answer my questions in a well-mannered way that would make me stand out. And I didn't meet, well, I mean, I've met with pageant coaches and had interviews with different people, but the way that I felt most comfortable answering my questions was taught by Brandon. We had a session where I threw some questions at him. He said, okay, answer that. And he helped me learn how to package that. Do you think Brandon is a pageant person? I think he should put some heels on now because
It's a competition on tomorrow's.
but that's what I'm saying. Brandon has no business
Because
in pageantry. Like, he probably
I don't
was like,
know.
what are you doing?
I have no idea.
And sure enough, I answered some of my questions. I called him before my interview to get some motivation because I needed to be reminded of what I was doing and why I was doing it and to stay calm. And that's something we all do in our workouts, but you do that, like, you don't remember to do that unless somebody's telling you. Unless somebody is telling you it's okay, you're not going to die, just breathe.
Just breathe.
Just breathe.
And we have to breathe through the nostrils.
Yep.
Through the nose, not the you have to do it just like Brandon. I don't know how he does it.
How many times have we heard that? Breathe through your nose.
You know.
Take a breath, take a breath.
Take a breath, yeah. Well, thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for sticking with this through the madness of COVID.
We are legendary scholarshippies. Sorry,
That's
guys.
right,
We're
yeah.
going to be the only.
This is a unique situation that, could have turned out differently, but it didn't because you guys were willing to stick through this. And that was a testament to being willing to stick through it for yourselves, to being willing to stick through it because you made a commitment, being willing to stick through it, using the thing that was holding you back turned into the thing that pushed you forward, which was you cared enough about what somebody else thought. You made a commitment in a scholarship to say, yes, I'm going to do this, and in your head you went, I can't let them down.
Yep.
But what happened was, in that piece of motivation, you made sure you didn't let yourself down. Right? And so, like, for us, and the reason that we do this particular program is to have this kind of effect on as many people as we can have that effect. And the cool thing is like, what you guys have done through this is now going to impact other people. And so, your willingness to stay committed, your willingness to do the work and do this is now going to change other lives beyond yours. So, kudos to you.
As far as COVID goes, the amount of trust that I had in you guys in keeping us safe, you know, and having our well-being in mind felt real confident.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good because we have a gym full of people who, even if they differed in opinion, they didn't treat it flippantly.
Right.
You know? And so that's been good too. So,
No, we had our boxes.
yeah. You're staying in your box. You'll be okay.
Stay in your box.
Needs to be retaped though.
Yeah, well. So,
Who works out over there, but that takes.
It's not.
but, so this is, so this podcast is now the official announcement of our 2021 application is going to officially open on December 30th. So if you are somebody who thinks, I need a change in life and I want to do something like CrossFit, but I don't know if I can, whether it's financial or motivational or ability or whatever that is, this is your opportunity to give yourself a chance to do that. So we'll open the application on December 30th. And these ladies are a testament to if you just give yourself a chance, even if you don't think you quote unquote deserve it, you might end up changing your life and the lives of a lot of people around you.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you, ladies. I really, really appreciate your willingness to take the time to do this, but then, I know for both of us, it's an honor to get to coach each of you and be a part of your lives for the last year, even if a huge portion of it has been virtual.
Hey, but we did our virtual groups.
That's true.
So that
They weren't the
means-
same.
That means we'll see you at 5:15, 8:15, 12, 4:30,
Yeah.
6:15. All
No,
the time. Oh,
6:30.
6:30, sorry, all the time. We'll see you in class.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say? All right.
No, because she'll cry.
Yeah.
You are not mean. You
So
can't.
just know, anybody that applies Marka is not as mean as
She just gets a hard time
is
for that.
an amazing woman. They're an amazing team. And
She cares. They both care.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. They
yeah,
care about our health,
Yes.
our mentality, everything.
Right on. Well, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.